What's going on, everyone? It's Ben here again. Hope you're doing well. I know I certainly am. Sorry, Rick Graham, for stealing your intro. I just thought I'd let you all know that I'm doing okay. On today's episode, I guess you could call it, I want to give you 5 tips to improve your playing. Now, I want to apologise about the title, because the title is like clickbait and like kind of nasty, and that's not the vibe I want to portray. But you got to play the YouTube game. So, 5 reasons your blues playing sucks, or 5 ways we can improve your blues playing. First and foremost, I want to say, am I the best blues player in the world? No, I'm not. But I'm a guitar teacher and I love the blues, and these are some of the things that I talk to my students about all the time. When they want to work on their improvising, especially in like a blues context, these are kind of 5 of the main tips that I give them to work on. Okay, so tip numero uno is, nice and simply, work on your bending. Okay, a lot of people can't quite get the technique for the bending down, and that inhibits their ability to get to the right note. You know what I mean? A lot of times you'll see the fingers doing all the work in the bending, and I used to do that. And then I think it was actually a Paul Gilbert video I came across where he was talking about using the wrist to actually do all the work, right? So just, I like to use the cue because it's the same thing. I think it's a Paul Gilbert thing. He said, imagine you're turning a doorknob, right? That's the thing. That's the movement you need, all right? So just lock your fingers in and just like, we're in the key of A flat like we were in that little jam there. If I have that flat 7, that G flat on the 7th fret of the 2nd string, and I use my fingers, alright, I can get there, but it's not comfortable. It actually kind of hurts. So what I do is I lock my fingers in place. Fingers are locked, supported by the previous 2 fingers, right? This is if I'm bending with the 3rd. Doing all that kind of stuff. It's all the wrist, okay? So work on your bending, and not just the technique of bending, but learn what notes you can bend and what notes you can't, all right? The amount of times I go to a blues jam and there's your... that one where they bend the tonic like up a quarter tone, and it's like, that's not cool, man. It doesn't sound good. Like, it can sound good, you know, there's that Stevie Ray Vaughan where he goes to the flat 9, and it sounds great, because it's how he treats it. He doesn't like go to it with trepidation and, ooh, I don't quite know what I'm doing. It's like, no, he hits the crap out of that, and that's why it sounds good. So, you can bend every note in the scale to the next note in the scale. Or if you're Dave Gilmour, 2 notes up, you know. That's what I would suggest doing, is taking your bending, working on the technique first and foremost, and then doing a little exercise where you kind of grab, let's just say we're taking minor pentatonic scale in the key of A flat, because I feel like that kind of today. A flat is a good key. So let's just take, let's try to bend up that minor 3rd. There we go. That was a little bit. Haven't done that one in a while. Right? Do all that kind of stuff, right? Bend all the notes. Work on where you can get to your spot with a bend. Okay, so you look down at the neck and go, all right, I'm on this note. I know if I bend X amount, I can get to that note, as opposed to just bending for the sake of bending. All right. Tip number 2. All right. It's gonna sound really simple. Listen to the music. All right. Listen to the music and play what is appropriate for the song. Okay. If you've got a BB King style chill 12 bar going on, and then you come in there with your metal zone, all right, it's not the play. Okay, it is absolutely not the play. All right, but it's not just listening to the song for context. This is like learning licks and stuff. Listen to the greats. Listen to your Gary Clark Jr.'s, your BB Kings, your Freddie Kings, your Albert Kings, your Stevie Ray Vaughns, your Eric Claptons, you know, your Muddy Waters, your Robert Johnsons. Listen to all those guys. Take a little bit of something from them. That's really important as well. Take some licks, take some ideas. You know, you don't have to sit down and go, oh, I'm gonna put this Clapton lick into my playing now. It's like, no, if you listen to a Clapton song and you go, oh, what he did was kind of cool. I want to work on that. You work on that, and you get it to the point where it's part of your playing, and then it'll start to just come out naturally in your own kind of way. That's cool. The third little aspect of listening is in a live context, okay? And it kind of relates back to the first part of this. If we're jamming, all right, if we are in a band context and there's 2 or 3 guitar players, there's a bass player, there's a drummer, there's a keyboard player, whatever there is, all right, whatever the personnel is at the time. My biggest tip in that context, especially at a jam, if you've got that many people, especially that many guitar players, sit back and listen. Take a couple of choruses. Don't just play, all right? If you've got this kind of slow blues thing, and someone's doing that, all right, and then old mate Jono over there is kind of doing that part, you've got to listen to that, because you don't want to come in with your over the top, right? That's not going to sound good at all, right? So you want to take what they're playing, listen, and try and slot in, okay? Is the bass player doing a really busy walking bass line? Is the drummer doing some kind of really busy groove? Is there any space for you to sit in? Because if not, you don't have to play. You can just sit there and listen and wait for your turn to solo, all right? Or maybe when the guitar player starts singing, if they're singing, they might stop playing rhythm, so you jump onto that part, or you jump on a similar enough part to fill that space. We don't always have to be playing, especially in a context, in a blues context, right? When everything is so improvisatory and jammy, you know, you can just take a couple of minutes, just listen, just maybe pepper in some, you know, if they're doing that stuff, and then you know, you might just want to just do some little chords, right? Something like that, something gentle, something nice and simple that can add to it. And tip number 3, number 3, my lord. Tip number 3 is to learn all your pentatonic shapes, all right? And it sounds really, really, really simple, but I, for one, remember when I started getting into improvising and blues type thing, I knew shape 1, I knew box 1, that was it. And I felt like I was just kind of in a rut. I was like, oh, there's got to be more to it. I don't know where else to go. And then my guitar teacher at the time said, yeah, there's 4 more places to play that same scale. And I lost my mind. It was so mind-boggling that what I've been doing in this little box could be replicated everywhere along the neck, all right? So take your shape 1, take your shape 2, 3, 4, 5, learn them all across the neck. You know, not just up to here, but learn, you know, shape 5 and 4 below as well, and then learn shape 1 all the way up here. Cover the neck, and then learn how to play through them horizontally and vertically. Tip number 4 is your arpeggios, okay? And I know for a fact every blues lawyer in the world is gonna have a crack at me for this one, going, arpeggios, you're gonna lose your feel, man. No, crock of shit. Learn your arpeggios, all right? Learning theory doesn't inhibit your ability to play with feel, man. It doesn't. It just doesn't, all right? I can put me jazz hat on, all right, although it's not a very good jazz hat, and I can play my 2-5-1s, and I can play my, you know, ba-da-da-da-da-da, all my licks and stuff, right? That's fine. But just because I know that doesn't mean I can't take that hat off and then go put on a blues backing track and just rip out all my B.B. King licks, you know, and work on that. Learn your arpeggios, man. And especially for a 12-bar blues, it's super simple. You've just got 3 chords, right? Learn those shapes, learn them in different places, don't just learn them in, you know, the one. Learn them that way, learn them this way. Do all that you can to get those arpeggios under your fingers and as natural sounding as possible, right? What you will find when you're trying to put your arpeggios into your playing at first, it's just going to sound horrible. And it's not going to sound musical at all. But you don't need to do them straight up and down. You know, you don't need to be going... You don't need to do that. You can play little fragments. You don't have to go from the top to the bottom or vice versa or whatever. You can be doing your blues. That's what I'd consider like a little arpeggio. Right? That's a little A flat 7 arpeggio lick, right? It doesn't sound too kooky to me, too crap to me. It sounds okay. And now, finally, tip number 5, numero 5. That'd be 9 technically because I'm holding it, but 5, all right? Tip number 5 is going to be, if you can hear what sounds like a mining expedition going on in the background, that'll be my brother having his breakfast. My man is loud when he eats. Just getting the spoon in the bowl and just fucking going ape shit at it, slapping it like it owes him money. Tip number 5, okay, is for me arguably the most important tip, all right? It's phrasing. All right, work on your phrasing. Work on where you add vibrato, where you play certain notes, how you play certain notes, okay? Because phrasing, for me, encompasses your touch, your technique, your note choice, all of that kind of stuff, okay? You can play the same thing. Let's take this lick. And play that in a whole heap of different places or in a whole heap of different ways, you know? You can bend from a semitone below each of those notes and make something really weird sounding. You can do... You can do all sorts of weird stuff, right, with that bass, okay? Dynamics, you know, you can flick it to the bridge pickup. You can give it that, you can go to the neck pickup, play with your fingers. Without vibrato. or maybe do a little bit of sideways vibrato, right? All of these different things, your dynamics, your touch, can add so much to your blues playing, right? If you've got an extended solo, which let's face it, if you're going to a blues jam, you're going to have at least one, all right? That idea of developing an idea over time is really cool, all right? So let's take that idea, for example. You can just play that for the 1 chord, all right? Leave that space there. When it moves to the 4 chord, then we're targeting some chord tones, all right? We're targeting the 3rd, all right, of that D flat chord. And then when we move back to the root, we play that same lick again. What about the 5 chord? That's how you develop a phrase, right? Take something small, add to it, all right? Add the vibrato, add the extra notes, do that kind of thing. All of these things you can do, you can add to your blues playing, and my God, man, it is going to skyrocket you. So just work on all of these things and you'll be golden. Alright guys, there you have it, my 5 tips on how to improve your blues playing. Hopefully you enjoyed them. Thanks so much for watching. If you do have any questions or you've got any comments, please let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Alright, keep on playing and picking and stuff. Keep having fun. Sayonara.